Hello and welcome to this lesson, Conditional Structures in PineScript. In this lesson, we are going to study if and switch operator structures. Also, I will explain matching local block type requirements when using those structures. And also, I will provide you with best practices and tips of using if and switch operators. So, let's begin. The if operator in PineScript and in many programming languages is a conditional statement that allows you to execute different blocks and code based on whether a specified condition evaluates to true or false. It plays a crucial role in controlling the flow of your script. Let's break down how the if operator works. So we have here if condition, and then if this condition is true, the code, this section of code is executed. Then we could have one or many else if conditions, and then if any of this condition is true, then corresponding section is executed, and could be and then could be one else operator, and if neither of this condition is true, then statement from else operator will be executed. So condition after if operator is an expression that evaluates to either true or false. The code within the first block is executed, this code is executed if this condition is true. You can have multiple else if blocks to check additional conditions. So this else if, you can have multiple of them, one or multiple. The else block, this one, if present, is executed when none of the conditions in the if blocks are true. Now, what is important is that to understand the execution flow of the if statement. Before we're going to review this example, let's review the flow execution of this if operator. The condition evaluation. The condition is evaluated, and if it is true, the code within the corresponding block is executed. If this is true, this code is executed. If the condition is false, the script moves to the next else if block, if any, and repeats the process. So if this condition is false, the flow goes to check next condition. In this case, for example, condition 2. And then if this condition 2 is false, then it goes to the next else if and checks if it's true. If neither else if is true, then the statement under else statement is executed. So sequential execution. The code within the block associated with the first true condition is executed. If a true condition is found, subsequent else if blocks and else block, if any, are skipped. What it means that if, for example, this condition after if operator is true, then this statement is executed. All other statements are skipped. An optional block. The else if block and the else block are optional. So it means that else if or multiple else if can be presence of those is optional. And else presence of else is optional as well. This is important to remember. Now let's review real life example. So in this example, we have a if operator used, and after if operator, we have a condition close bigger than open. So if this condition is true, meaning close bigger than open, then background color, BG color variable will be assigned green color. If close is not bigger than open, then second condition will be checked in else if statement. Then if close is less than open, then background color variable will be assigned red color. And if neither of these two conditions, first condition after if and second condition after else if neither of these two conditions are true, then the statement will be executed under else statement. In that case, background color will be assigned yellow color. This is how if operator works in this case. So key points from this. Mutual exclusivity. In the series of if and else if statements, only the code associated with the first true condition will be executed. Once a condition is true, subsequent conditions are ignored. So for example, in this case, if for example, first condition is false, but second condition is true, this statement will be executed. Color will be assigned, background color will be assigned as red. Subsequent statement will be skipped. Default action. The else block provides a default action if none of the specified condition is true. That means that if neither conditions is true after if operator and after all of else if operator conditions, if neither of those is true, then the default statement will be executed. Background color will be assigned to yellow. Indentation rule. So the code within each block if else is typically indented for readability, although PineScript is forgiving with indentation. So as you see here, what we have here, the statement after each of these operator if else, the statement is indented from the start. This improves readability of the code and is suggested to use. Understanding the if operator is fundamental for creating scripts that can make decisions and respond dynamically to changing conditions in financial markets. It allows you to build logic that adapts to different scenarios, making your script more robust and versatile. Now, let's review the if operator syntax when it returns a value. So in this scenario, the syntax is as follows. Declaration mode, type, identifier equals if operator, expression, local block, else if, expression, local block, and else expression, another local block. In this case, declaration mode is the variable's declaration mode. Type is optional. Identifier is the variable name in this case. An expression can be literal, variable, expression, or function calls. The difference between using operator that returns value comparing to using if operator that does not return value is that we assign a return of the if operator to a certain variable. In this case, it's scripted as identifier, right? When we need our if operator to return a certain value depending on certain conditions, and when we need that value to be assigned to certain variable, we use this syntax. Now let's review an example of using if operator with return value. In this case, we can see that we declared string variable bar state, and we assign to that bar state variable the return from if operator. If operator checks if this function bar state.isLast confirm history, if this condition is true, then the if operator will return this string isLast confirmed history, and this string will be assigned to bar state variable. If this condition is false, then next condition will be checked after else if statement. Then if bar state is new and this condition is true, then is new string will be returned and assigned to bar state. If this condition is false, then next else if condition will be checked. If bar state is real-time condition is true, then is real-time string will be returned and assigned to the bar state variable. If neither of these three conditions is true, this one, and this one, if neither of them is true, then other string will be returned after else statement, and this other string will be assigned to bar state variable. So this is how if operator works when we use it to return value. Now I want to say that understanding the if operator is very important, and it's very important to know when you need to use if operator with a returning value or not. Now let's review how switch structure operator works. In PineScript, the switch structure is used for conditional branching, similar to if structure. It allows you to select and execute specific code blocks based on the value of an expression. There are two forms of the switch structure. One with an expression as a key, and other without an expression. So let's review switch with expression. And in this switch, we can see that after switch operator we use expression. Therefore, this is the case that we are considering. Switch with expression. Now, let's review how this works. In this syntax, declaration mode is optional. It specifies the variable's declaration mode. Could be var IP, or nothing. Type, optional, specifies the variable's type. For example, int, float, string. Next, identifier, the variable's name. Next, we have a switch operator itself, an expression, the key expression whose value determines the case to execute. Value 1, value 2, and we could have more values in this operator. Specific values that expression can take. So if we check this expression, if expression equals to value 1, local block 1 is returned and assigned to this identifier. If value 2 is true, if expression equals to value 2, then local block 2 is returned and assigned to this identifier. Local block 1, local block 2, code blocks associated with each value. Default block that code executed when no other case matches. That means that if evaluated expression does not match any of these values, then default block, local block, is executed and returned and assigned to this identifier. So now, let's review the switch operator example without expression. In this case, expression 1 and expression 2 conditions evaluated to determine which case to execute. Local block 1, local block 2, code blocks associated with each condition. Default local block, code block executed when no other case matches. Now let's review some examples of using switch operator. In this example, the switch structure is used to determine whether to enter a long position or short position, or close existing position based on crossover and cross-under conditions. So this is how it works. This is using switch operator without any expressions. So first, when execution of this switch operator is entered, first condition is checked, TA crossover. If this condition is true, then this code will be executed. Strategy entry long. So the script will enter long position. If this condition is false, then this condition will be evaluated. If cross-under condition is true or not. If it's true, then short position will be entered by executing strategy.entry short position. If neither of these conditions are true, then the default statement will be executed strategy.close. So the strategy position will be closed. This is an example how switch operator is used that does not have any expression. Now let's review an example of using switch operator with expression. In this case, we can see that we use switch operator, and after that we have a condition, close bigger than open. And the return of this switch operator execution will be assigned to background color variable. Let's take a look how it works. So if this close bigger than open condition is true, then the switch operator will try to find the true value within its scope, within its list of values, and it's gonna find the true value, this line, and then corresponding statement will be executed, and the green color will be returned and assigned to background color variable. If close bigger than open condition is false, then it will find the false value and corresponding color will be returned, which is red color in this case, and assigned to background color variable. So this is how switch operator works with expression. Now let's review the matching local block type requirements, which is important to understand when using the structures such as if and switch. When using multiple local blocks in structures such as if and switch operators, the return value type must match if structure assigns a value to a variable in a declaration. What it means is that you use structure such as switch in this case, and you use the you use it in a way so the return of this structure will be assigned to a certain variable. In this case, each return value of this structure must be the same type. Like in this case, it's a color, right? For example, if one of those returning value does not match the expected color type, you will get compiler error. There are some important rules also to remember. Only one branch of the switch structure is executed, and there is no fall through like in some other programming languages. This symbol, arrow symbol, is used to associate a value with corresponding code block, this arrow right symbol. The structure is terminated when this default local block to handle cases when none of the specified conditions is met. Like for example in this syntax, right? When neither of this condition is true, expression 1 is false, expression 2 is false, etc., default block is executed. Break statements are not necessary in switch structure. The switch structure is a powerful tool for creating clear and efficient conditional logic in PineScript, especially when dealing with multiple conditions and cases. In conclusion, this lesson on conditional structures in TradingView PineScript has equipped you with essential knowledge to implement robust and flexible decision-making logic in your scripts. We explored two fundamental condition structures, the if structure and the switch structure. Remember to follow best practices such as avoiding unnecessary nesting and ensure consistent return types within conditional structures. With a solid understanding of conditional logic, you are well positioned to elevate your TradingView PineScript skills and craft more sophisticated and responsive technical analysis tools. This is the end of this lesson, and I will see you in the next one.